ex-boyfriend of 4.5 years blindsided me the exact same way that Matt James did to Rachel Kirkconnell. My ex-boyfriend and I have been talking about getting married for 4.5 years. It was always very clear that that's what I wanted out of our relationship, and I really thought that that man was going to be my husband.
So let me get this straight. You wanted marriage out of your relationship and the man denied you. And because he denied you, you feel slighted and decided to make a TikTok video complaining about the situation. Guys, I have no empathy for these women who failed to get marriage. Marriage is an absolute scam for men, and oftentimes it's very clear why these women want marriage. It's not necessarily because they actually love the guy. They just want the ring and the security that comes along with it. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another ridiculous episode for you here today. We are going to be returning to that clip of that woman saying, hey, listen, my boyfriend denied me marriage. But first, let's jump into the first clip of today, which is this one right here. A woman saying, what is going on with dating right now? Please send help. So not only are the women failing to get marriage out of men, but it seems like a lot of them are also failing to get relationships. Let's take a listen. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
I really don't remember it being like this. Like, I haven't had to date in like 7 or 8 years, and it was nothing like this. This is a whole different ballgame.
So this woman got out of her relationship or marriage or whatever it was. She's been in it for 7 to 8 years and hasn't had to date this entire time. And now she's back out on the streets and it is difficult for her. I find these videos very funny, guys, where women, they return to the streets, whether it be because they divorce their husbands or leave their boyfriends or whatever. And then they find out that dating is difficult and men don't want commitment. It's very damn funny.
I'm like legit so stupid. I thought like the first man I ever met off Hinge, like I was like, oh, we're gonna date. I was wrong about that, obviously. But now that I'm dating like multiple men, so this is the thing. I'm doing like half bar rat, so maybe I can like meet someone in real life. Like people are like, oh, meet them somewhere else. Guys, I go a lot of places, okay? I'm not meeting any men at those places. I haven't met a single man at any of these places. That's my...
Yeah, so this woman goes out, you know, she can't meet men in real life anymore. She doesn't know what's happening. So what is her solution, guys? Her solution is to jump on dating applications and to date many men at the same time. This is a brilliant strategy by modern day women, guys. It's actually absolutely genius because, you know, what these women fail to understand is that if a man sees that you are dating multiple men at the same time, if he has any degree of self-respect, he will never have a relationship with you, right? So women are out here like, yeah, I got a roster. I'm seeing a bunch of men. And the men are out here thinking, oh, hell no, she's for fun use only. She's clearly seeing other dudes. Why on earth would I put a ring on that? Why on earth would I have a relationship with a woman who is seeing 4 different dudes at the same time? Ridiculous.
Maybe I can like meet someone in real life. Like people are like, oh, meet them somewhere else. Guys, I go a lot of places, okay? I'm not meeting any men at those places. I haven't met a single man at any of these places. That's my point. So Bumble, I don't like Bumble. I don't know if you guys like Bumble, but I hate Bumble. I like snooze my profile. We're done with Bumble. Hinge, I know we all talk shit about Hinge on here, but it's been the best for me.
Why is it, guys, that when women talk about dating, they talk about it in sort of like a marathon sense, you know? Hinge has been the best dating application for me, right? Okay, where's your ring then? Where's your boyfriend then? Where's your long-term relationship? I see this as well with women who travel overseas, and they're like, you know what? Dating is so much better overseas. I went to this country and all of the men are complete gentlemen. It worked out so well. And then they come back to the country that they're from. No ring, no relationship, no nothing. So riddle me this. How good, how effective is your dating strategy if you still don't have a man? You know what I'm saying? And it's just absolutely hilarious.
The last couple guys I'm talking about are all from Hinge, unless I say my guy friend. But yeah, honestly, we're in the trenches. I'm like this close. I'm gonna give it maybe through February before I find some house in the woods and move there and never come out. But honestly, it's making my will to be hotter so strong But I'm like, ooh, should we just keep doing this to ourselves? It's so bad. Like, I don't want to go talk to a stranger. I don't want to.
This woman is insufferable. So what's she saying here, guys? There are no good men. I can't find a good man. Dating is so difficult. This is literally what she's wrote on her thing. Let me just pull this down so you guys can see this. Look at this. She says, what is going on with dating right now? Send help. I thought that I was going to be dating the first man that I met on Hinge. Obviously not. You want to know why this is obvious? Because the men that these women are choosing on these dating applications are not looking for anything serious. Now, this is, obvious to anyone with 2 licks of common sense, but I suppose these women lack common sense. And they think that, hey, let me just go swipe on a bunch of attractive men and I'll be able to get a relationship. Hey, better yet, why don't I go out there and hook up with multiple men at the same time? Surely this will increase my odds of getting a man.
Like, I don't want to go talk to a stranger. I don't want to. Anyways, that's my update. Bumble, I despise. I don't know what it is about Bumble that I don't like, but I snoozed my profile. I just got on Raya, and I don't even know how to use it. And it keeps showing up other people from like New York and Pennsylvania. And like, what are you guys doing here?
Okay, so she's from New York City. I mean, this explains a lot, guys. Like, it's more like the more metropolitan you go, and the more of the, if you go to some metropolitan liberal city, it's like these situations, these places are going to be a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, the women from New York are exceptionally terrible, at dating. They are so damn bad at it. Every single video that I see, every single TikTok video that I see of a New York woman that's talking about dating, oh my goodness, are they completely clueless. They've all got like rosters of men. They all have negative opinions about men because they failed to get commitment. They are very, very bad offenders insofar as being perpetually for the streets, as it were.
So if anyone wants to explain Riot to me a little bit better.
I don't know what that is.
We're like mainly on Hinge right now, but like it's not that great. Like, I was off Hinge all of December and I went back to my likes and I had 670 Hinge likes. Like, I'm not even kidding. I told someone that and they were like, you're lying. Like, why did I lie? Okay,
very weird that women like to flex Hinge likes, by the way. Very weird. Women seem to think that, oh, well, I get a lot of attention from men. This somehow makes me valuable. It actually makes you repulsive to a lot of guys. If you go to some woman's like Instagram profile and she has 10,000 followers and a whole chunk of them are dudes, this is actually very unappealing to a lot of dudes, by the way. Very, very unappealing. But don't worry, guys. She has 670 likes because apparently that's a huge deal. Which, by the way, I really think that's actually low for a woman in New York City, by the way. So I don't know what that's about. But get this, 670 likes or whatever it was, 670 dudes trying to match with her, still single, still can't find a good man. You can give a man 5 options. I've said this many times before. Give a man 5 options, he could probably make it work with 3. Modern day women, you can give them 670 and it's still not great for them. Disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting.
Okay, I digress. I had 1 match out of those 670.
670 dudes, swipes, aka matches on one of them. Wow, I wonder what the problem is here. The thing is, guys, is many of these men are just not up to women's standards. Not tall enough, not attractive enough, photos aren't good enough, he's not muscular enough, and so on and so forth. Let's continue on to this next clip. So this was the one that I played in the intro. She says, my ex-boyfriend of 4.5 years blindsided me. He didn't give me the ring. He didn't let me rob him. Very sad to hear, obviously. Let's take a listen.
My ex-boyfriend of 4.5 years blindsided me the exact same way that Matt James did to Rachel Kirkconnell.
I don't know who these people are. I'm assuming they're like celebrities or something. No idea.
My ex-boyfriend and I have been talking about getting married for 4.5 years. It was always very clear that that's what I wanted out of our relationship. And
right, of course. So you were pushing this guy for a marriage for 4 years, right? This is something that notice how she said this is something that she wanted out of the relationship, by the way. She didn't mention that this is something we wanted or something that he was interested in. No, it's something that she wanted out of the relationship.
I really thought that that man was going to be my husband, and it's because he made me think that he was going to be my husband.
This woman very clearly knew that this guy was not interested in getting married and tried to pressure him into it anyway. You can tell because within the first 2 seconds, she says, this is something that I wanted out of our relationship.
We had looked at rings, talked about a specific timeline. He said that he was ready. We were hypothetically planning this wedding. I was running Newly for all of our dates so that I had cute outfits to potentially wear. He was helping me pick out my nails every month. It seemed very likely that any time we went on a date, any trip we went on, anytime I went out for a couple of months, like there could have been an engagement.
Oh no. Oh no, guys, she was expecting the engagement this whole time. Well, I'm so sorry that this dude was not willing to risk absolutely everything by marrying you. And notice how she blames this on him, by the way. She's like, we went rings shopping, okay? We agreed on a timeline. I'm very skeptical to this. This woman probably dragged him out ring shopping. Like, this guy clearly did not want to go. Right? I guarantee you, we go talk to the guy and he probably would have been like, yeah, it wasn't really my idea, man. I wasn't too interested in it. And she kept pressuring him into trying to marry her.
Anytime I went out for a couple of months, like there could have been an engagement. That's because he made me think that that was the truth. Just like Matt and Rachel, we went on a trip, had an awesome time. We're talking about engagement, weddings. We got permanent bracelets while we were there. My ex would say that he loved me so much. He was having like the best time with me on the trip. He was so happy in our relationship. I would ask him, how can I be a better partner to you this week?
Notice how she's like, number one, I really do not buy this at all, right? Because here's the reason why I don't buy this. If the man was interested in marrying you, you wouldn't have to try and put this man on a timeline, right? If the man was interested in marrying you, he would say that he's interested in marrying you straight up. This woman would not start this video by saying marriage was something I wanted out of our relationship. Okay, but I don't believe what this woman is saying whatsoever. And notice how she's saying, what can I do to be a better girlfriend? She's really trying for the ring, putting on her best behavior to try and get the ring out of the man. They've been on the trip for maybe a few days. It's still not happening. It's been a few months. She's looking at the clock like, hey, I need to get married. And the guy's just like, yeah, no.
He was so happy in our relationship. I would ask him, how can I be a better partner to you this week? He would always say, we're doing amazing. There's nothing you can do better. That whole trip, he knew that he was going to end our relationship. And that's exactly what he did less than a week after we returned from the trip. And even after picking out a new set of nails for me, after we got back from the trip, he sat me down over the dinner that I cooked for us and told me that he couldn't do this, wasn't ready to get married, and that we weren't compatible.
Oh no, guys. Oh no. So all of that, trying to get marriage out of the dude completely and utterly backfired. I think, guys, if we were to go and have a conversation with this man and he was allowed to be honest without being brigaded by this woman over on TikTok, he would probably tell us quite a different story. But of course, this is what happens, guys, is women go out here and they think that it's a good idea to pressure men into marriage, right? To try and get them to propose, to try and get the relationship and the huge wedding out of these guys. When the truth of the matter is, if the man wanted to marry you, he would. Now, granted, guys, I think that getting married is a stupid decision for men. I think it's incredibly risky. And women who try and pressure dudes into getting married despite this risk, probably not the best idea to marry those women. But let me just say this. If the man was interested in getting married to you, you wouldn't have to present him with timelines. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude would marry you. That's exactly how it would go. If the man was interested in marrying you, he would propose to you. You wouldn't have to drop hints. You wouldn't have to do this timeline thing. You wouldn't have to, force the man to come ring shopping with you, which I guarantee is what happened. Okay, you really think this guy said, hey, we should go ring shopping today? No, don't buy it.
And to hear from your partner of over 4 years that you are not compatible, someone that you've lived with and functioned almost like a married couple with for such a long time, is like very insulting, because how could my perception of our compatibility be so different? And what do you mean that it took you 4 years to figure out that we are not compatible? I've been the same person the whole time.
So here's the thing. So she's saying, how is our perception so different? I mean, that's easy. You probably don't live in reality, right? I've been saying this on the channel many times over, guys. I think a lot of men and women live in completely different realities. Like, it's not even damn close. This woman, she thinks she's on track to get the ring, and the guy's like, yeah, no, thank you. And this guy probably left because, hey, he wasn't interested in getting married to you. He wasn't being interested in being pressured anymore. He didn't actually want to get married to you, right? And again, if the man wanted to marry you, he would propose to you. It's really quite simple. You wouldn't need to bring up the fact that you're on a timeline, or he needs to propose to you by a certain date, or that, you guys are you as the woman wouldn't have to orchestrate any of this nonsense, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes who want to propose to their girlfriends, or to their girlfriends, the dude will just propose. Right? And you'll notice that many of the women who have been in their marriages for like 20, 30 years, they will tell you, right? The people who actually have successful, very long-term marriages, which are quite rare these days, mind you. Oftentimes, these women will tell you that it wasn't even necessarily on her mind. She didn't have to pressure the dude. She didn't have to ask him. She didn't have to present him with some sort of a timeline. None of this. The dude just proposed to the woman because that's what he wanted to do. And I also find it, excuse me, as I zoom in on her face, guys, I guarantee you this woman has many red flags that would make her not qualified to actually be a wife, right? And this dude probably couldn't say this because she would probably flip off the handle, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are women out there, guys, where like you just, oftentimes, man, they don't want to hear the truth. They absolutely do not want to hear it. Let's continue.
And what do you mean that it took you 4 years to figure out that we are not compatible? I've been the same person the whole time. Of course, a breakup is hard if you think that things are going well and you're not fighting and you're being told that the relationship is really good. Like, that is hard enough. But to have the buildup of we're about to get engaged, like my life is going in this direction. What next year is going to look like for me is going to be a wedding. It's going to be pregnancies. It's going to be kids in my future, buying a home. I'm going on this upward slope.
Yeah, you're going on this upward slope. It's all about you. It's all about what you want, right? Notice the language that's being used in this video, guys, right? When she initially mentions the marriage, it's something that she wanted. It's something that she saw in their future, right? She saw the house in their future. She saw the kids, right? Like, she saw things that she wanted. Look at this. Let me go back to this. And notice how she's talking about, my life is going up, right? I'm going to get the wedding, okay? I'm going to have the wedding. I'm going to be able to have the kids. I'm going to be able to buy a home, which I think we all know what that means, right? The dude's going to have to file for the, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have to get the mortgage out. He's going to have to take out a joint mortgage with her name on it, right? I cannot wait, guys, to go out there and risk putting my name on a mortgage with a woman who rants on TikTok. Can't wait for that. That seems like a very good idea. And she thinks in her mind that her life, it's all about her, is going on an upward slope.
And then to be like essentially shot down, turn around, start from the beginning. I just know that that is what Rachel is going through right now. And
again, I don't know who these people are that she keeps mentioning. I don't know, probably all the women who watch this video, they're probably familiar with celebrity culture or whoever she's describing. I genuinely have no idea.
And it's really hard. I wish I could say I can't imagine what she's going through. I can't imagine the publicity of what she's going through, but unfortunately, I can't imagine the pain and the trauma that she is experiencing.
Every time, guys, I hear these women use the word trauma, right? Or they say that like they have PTSD. It's a complete joke, man. Your boyfriend denied you marriage because it is not something that he wanted to do. And what does this woman call it? She calls it trauma. Guys, I always think in my head whenever women say this crap, I just think to myself, what about people like war veterans? You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes go out there, they fight for their country, they might return home missing a few friends, for example, maybe a limb, and so on. I think these guys are probably qualified to use the word trauma, but you have women on TikTok who are like, my boyfriend didn't marry me. I have trauma now. And it's like, okay, right.
From the words that Matt put in her head that made her believe something different. There's a lot more probably that I could say about my own story, but that's just a little bit about what happened to me, and I wish that I couldn't relate to what Rachel is going through, but unfortunately I can. It seems like there's an epidemic of men who can't communicate their feelings ahead of time and women who are left in their path as casualties, unfortunately.
I love how this woman words this, right? Is like, men can't communicate. She's the victim. Let me just say this, guys. Women oftentimes love to pull this whole victimhood card here, but I think any sort of third-party person could view this situation and be like, obviously the dude wasn't interested in getting married. Okay, I really want to point this out, guys. If you have a woman that has to put a man on a timeline, okay, and opens up by saying, marriage is something I wanted out of our relationship, you should immediately be skeptical as to whether or not the man is actually interested. I find these videos funny. I was manipulated. Men can't communicate. No, here's what happened. You tried to pressure this guy into marriage. You conjured up this fantastic idea that you were about to get the house, right? You're about to co-sign a mortgage with this man, okay? You were about to have the big wedding day. You were about to make those Instagram posts so that you could look so much more valuable to your friend Stacy down the road, okay? And that didn't happen for you. And guys, I don't really feel sorry for this situation because, again, I don't think the dude was interested at all. I also think that marriage is a huge risk these days for men. It is completely and utterly a huge scam. So when women come along and they were like, yeah, I was about to get this massive bag of gold. It would have been so important for me. But then it was snatched away from me and I was manipulated. I don't particularly care because I don't think that the things that come along with marriage should be the way they are currently. Women should not be viewing marriage like this, guys. I'm telling you. But they do. It's really unfortunate. Gone are the days of those marriages that last 20, 30 years where the woman is actually there because she loves the man, not because she was on some sort of a timeline, you know? Imagine that.
Path as casualties, unfortunately.
And that is the end of the video. Absolutely hilarious. I think if I went to this woman's TikTok account, probably like found her Instagram or something, I would assume that this woman has a whole bunch of red flags that would obviously disqualify her as being wife material. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I'm completely wrong about that, guys. But I don't think that that's the case. Generally, these women who make these TikTok ranting videos, you know, you go to their Instagram and they have like bikini photos up while they're with their boyfriend. So, you know, best of luck as far as that's concerned. Now she's back to the streets, guys. She needs to start all over again and get her life on that upward trajectory. Hopefully she can have her big wedding day one day if a man is silly enough to do it. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.